Welcome to a little tomfoolery, Rob Little and Tommy Ryman. A podcast filled with laughs and gaffs, guffaws and haws, and maybe a picture of a dog. A little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery. A little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery. Fools!
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of A Little Tomfoolery with comedians Rob Little and Tommy Ryman. I'm Tommy Ryman, and with me is...
Rob Little, good to see you, fool.
Good to see you, fool. Oh, I'm so excited to have you back on the show. I'm glad we could lock you down. I'm really excited to have you back.
Thanks, man. It's great to be back, and we'd like to welcome you back also. It's always a pleasure to see you, Tommy, and we love that you always get dressed up and do your hair for the show.
Yes, of course. Thanks for having me.
What are we doing today, buddy? Lots on the docket.
It is. It's been a busy weekend. Can I tell you a little story about my weekend? What happened? So
yeah.
I was performing in Colorado Springs at a comedy club, and Colorado Springs is in Colorado, which is in the mountains, and the car I rented was a Ford Fiesta. I don't know if you...
Those are known to be pretty tiny, I would think.
It was tiny, and there was a snowstorm when I got there. I don't know why they rent those cars in Colorado. Why is that an option? They shouldn't even, you're in the mountains. They should just be like, okay, here's your like Subaru, and you're like, but they're like, here you go. Good luck with that. You're not going to make it.
That's so funny. That happened to me just a few weeks ago in Oklahoma City. They thought they were giving me an upgrade. They gave me a Dodge Charger, which was awesome. But then the next day there was a huge snowstorm, and that's rear wheel drive. I had to go up like a tiny hill, and I sat there for almost 2 hours before I just drove it into the side of the road. Like on the pavement, there was like a little edge, and I just drove it into that and grinded that up the road.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't care. It's like,
well, fancy car. Yeah,
they're idiots for giving it to me when they know there's a storm. So did you make it okay? Is everything, obviously you're back.
Yeah, I did, and it was only kind of slushy coming in that first day. So and the cool thing about that car, when you don't have to scrape the ice off of it, you just spin it in a circle real fast and the ice shakes off. So it was cool. But I got to do a show. So I did the club, and then they had me do an additional show at the Airforce Academy, but I call it a base. It's not a base. They made fun of me for that. I was like, I'm so excited. They're like, this is just Hogwarts for like school for the Air Force or whatever, pilots. But yeah, because my grandpa was a pilot, my uncle was a commercial pilot, and my cousin is a pilot in the Marines.
Wow.
And so I told him that. I was like, I'm so excited. And I go, and I do this. So I was like, we're all pretty brave men.
Yeah.
And I was like, they don't just give these cardigans to anybody. But it was hard to get into the academy. Like they were checking IDs, and I had to like send my driver's license like a week in advance because I had to get on some list. And so I got there, pulled up in the Ford Fiesta, and there was some security guard, and he's like, why are you here? And I was like, comedy show? Like I was just like, I'm here, and like I thought they would know or have a list, and he's like, what? No, there's a bunch of events. Who's your contact? And I was like Looney's, the club, or and he was like, do you have a letter of intent? And I was like, nope, I don't. I have like, and then he was like, do you have any bombs and explosives? And that's when I wanted to be like, oh, yep, you got me. Like, oh man,
I don't know, but I'm about to blow up the stage.
Right? I was like, this Ford Fiesta is fully loaded. There's an M80 and those little things you throw in the ground that pop. I got a big case of those in here.
I got a few worms I'll light up for you.
Yeah, but it was cool. There's like 3-star generals. So
wow. Was it guys that were new in the academy, or they like, because this is a school, right? This is more of a...
These were like higher up. I think these were people that are teaching, and then it was some of their spouses as well. So it was like a small group.
And how were they? Were they very stiff, or were they kind of open to it? Or
no, they were good. They were ready to laugh. The lady that brought me up, though, that she was having microphone trouble, so she brought me onto the stage and then walked away with the microphone. And I was like, why don't you figure that out before? Because the microphone wasn't working. And then she goes, well, can you guys hear me? And then she brought me up and then just wandered off. And then I was working with a comedian, Al Goodwin. Do you know him?
No.
He lives in Colorado Springs, but then, so I was going to bring him up because I had to rush straight to the club to do my normal show. So then I was really tempted after I brought him up to just walk away with the microphone because she did bring it back eventually, but it was the
Oh, good.
oddest introduction I've ever had. But yeah, they were fun.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm working on a new project. I got a little project I'm
Ooh.
working on. So I built this storage bench that goes in my lanai, and
Yeah.
it could use a table, right? So I came up with this idea where I'm going to build this tabletop that's going to become like a shadow box, where I
Whoa.
put all kinds of different fishing things in it.
Oh, okay.
So lures, like old pamphlets of like bass maps and stuff like that. All kinds of, I found so many cool things to put in it. Then I'm gonna
Wait.
epoxy it all.
What you got? What is a bass map?
So like there's guys that will go out and map a lake and tell you where the hot spots are in the
Okay.
map. Yeah. So I'm sure they get it from other anglers and stuff, but and then they create this map and then they put it out. And
So it's like map of the stars. Or do you buy them on the
Yeah.
lake? And it's just
Yeah.
like, this bass is real famous. Nobody's caught him yet, but
Right.
he lives.
By the way, I did catch a pretty big one just a couple days ago. I caught just under 4 or 5. So that's bigger than normal. Normal's like anywhere 2 to 3 pounds probably, but
Oh, okay.
and then
Wow.
my neighbor caught a 6 pounds. Man, those are big.
And you cook that up then?
I threw it right back.
You threw it right back. You're like, I don't want
Yeah.
to eat bass. I just want to catch them later again.
You know, I have never ate one. I know that you can, but I don't even know how to clean them or anything because I've always had people.
Put a little soap and water, just
Just put a little bit of
put it in the dishwasher.
hand soap. Yeah, no big deal. So yeah, I don't even know how to do any of that. I don't have the knives for it or anything. So I just like the act of fishing. That's it. So
Yeah.
I'm building this table, and the legs are going to be fish hooks that cross.
Whoa, that sounds really cool.
And then in the middle brace is going to be 2 fishing poles coming together. I am like freaking excited about this one. This is going to be cool. I'll definitely show pictures and stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting to visualize that. I can't, because you're just carving it, like you're designing it, or you're actually like gluing a fishing pole to it and hooks.
No, I'm actually carving it out of wood, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mine would
Not
look
like
absolutely
whittling. I'm not sitting in a rocking chair in my front porch whittling away, but I'm cutting it out of wood, and yeah, it's gonna be sweet.
That's awesome. Oh, here's a random question. Sorry,
Please.
off topic. So I got up early this morning, and normally Megan always gets up before me, and she's so I have to make the bed. But I got up this morning, and then it was her turn, but she didn't make the bed when she left, so I had to make it again. Do you make your bed every morning?
I literally make it as soon as I get out of it.
Right. Oh.
I'm very clean and organized, so that would drive me nuts. And it drives me nuts that she didn't make it for you.
What if you're dating somebody, and they sleep in later? Like, how does that work? Or did you always just make the bed?
No, it's their turn. They're last out, last one makes it.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just wondering that. Yeah. I like to get into a made bed though when I go to sleep. So.
I know when people go, why make it? I'm just gonna mess it up again. Well, yeah. Well, you could say that about a lot of things, but I like neatness in my life and organization. And what if somebody came? This is what my mom always ingrained to me. If somebody came over, don't you want it already like clean and made up? Because what if they see your bed all messy?
True. But when we do have company, it's always like a Olympic cleaning. Like there's always more stuff you need to do before. So it'd be nice at least if one thing was done. Yeah. But she does so much stuff anyways. So, and I'm sure she's just used to me always laying in bed till like 10 o'clock that she was like, I didn't know. I thought maybe you went to the bathroom or something when you got. She was like, it's not my fault you're crazy and woke up at 6 a.m. this morning for some reason.
Yeah, I've been staying up super late. I cannot, because I get a project in my head and then I can't get it done, get it out of my head. So there's been a couple nights this past week I just stayed up 24 hours. I didn't even go to bed.
Wow.
I couldn't do it. I just was like, I'm too wired. And then if I do lay down, I get up really early anyways. My internal clock just gets me up for some reason. I think it's because I'm becoming old. And now right? Because they just get up early for some reason. It's like time for morning breakfast. And
Yeah, you got to watch birds, and they got to, it takes a while to go to the bathroom for
okay,
some
I'm
people.
so glad you brought that bird thing up, because I was hanging out with a buddy this past week. He married my best friend. She was like my best friend in high school, and this guy married her, and he is a birder or birdie.
Bird watcher? Or
It's a bird watcher, but they call themselves birders.
birder? I'm a birder.
That's what he said.
Okay.
And he is such a dork about it that we like heard a woodpecker, and I was like, I know that one. That's a woodpecker. And he's like, it's an articulated woodpecker or some, whatever. It had some other kind of name to it.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point on, we pretty much ripped on him the rest of the night. Like, he was such a dork about it.
It's like, excuse me, that is a different kind of woodpecker, but you should have known, Rob.
But then he started ripping on these other birders that were like, because he got up, they were staying in a hotel down by Orlando, and he got up just to go out and look at the birds. Well, then these other two like professional birders came up, like they had backpacks and what do they call the binoculars, and they're like looking at they're like, so did you see it yet? And he's like, what? And they named off like 3 or 4 different super hard to find birds. And he was acting like he didn't know nothing about it and was such a dork about it. Wow. I was like, I didn't know it was this intense. And then they had like a check mark. They like a check off page where once you find it, I got it. It's kind of like Pokemon.
Right. But in real life, what do you?
But what's to prove you even saw it? They don't take pictures. They got binoculars.
Yeah, they're just like, that was it, probably. So, I just assume.
But they were so into it. It'd be like you going, no, that's a Superman comic from 1921 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they know if they saw it or not.
I don't know. I feel like they should design an app so it's official. Like, it scans it, and then it would know if you really did see that. Because then you could, if you had that app and he was like, that's an articulated woodpecker, and then you could have scanned it, and then you would have been like, nope, it's just a regular woodpecker. Like I don't know if
I'm not sure they can scan them.
No, I'm saying we should invent that. We should. I would like to put it, instead of this podcast, let's take all of our money and roll it into bird watching apps.
I'm getting rid of it right now. I want to say that they were doing that on an app.
Oh, okay.
I was so disinterested in the story, I barely listened to him because it was such a dorkiest thing. I never knew about him.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was not interested at all.
We put up our bird feeders, so Megan's been.
That's different.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's fun. I use that as like growing up. For me, that was my my bait pile. So I used to peck the birds out of my mom's bird feeder with my Daisy 1-pump BB gun. She would get so mad. And there were so many of those same types of birds around. We lived in the woods. There was chickadees everywhere. So I'm just thinning them out so they can all. That's what we do with deer and stuff up there.
Bird murderer. They probably stopped coming to that feeder. They're like, don't go to that.
No, they still come to this day. They know I'm gone though. That's why.
It's safe now.
So did you get anything this week in the mail?
You bet I did.
Well,
I was
been waiting to hear from you.
I know. I think I know what it is.
I love buying gifts for you because you're just so fun to buy for her. And
but this is the package. Did you hear it? For the listeners, I was excited about this. It's a big package.
Yep.
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
I'm just hoping you don't have these ones. But if you do, well, you got another one.
I don't have these ones.
You don't?
Nice. No.
Awesome.
I have like the one I showed you on the earlier podcast of the Muhammad Ali, and then I have like a Christmas one. So these are awesome. It's like,
tell the listeners what
these are oversized Superman comics. I think they're from the 70s or
they are.
Yeah. So that's
75 and 72 or something like that.
Yeah. This one's got 3D diorama and pinup Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna have fun with these. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, buddy.
Awesome.
Well, when
Did you get my package? I mailed you a whole bunch of stuff too. I think it was like $1,000 worth of stuff, like a
No.
brand new fishing pole and a boat, a new motor.
What?
Yeah, just check for it. I'm sure it's coming. You're too sweet. I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. I love doing it, man. I love doing it
Oh,
because I know you love them. So that's why it's awesome.
This is kind of on topic.
There should be 2 of them, though, right?
Yeah, there's this one, and then there's the cool Superman just standing, and he's got like the old school S. So that's awesome.
Oh, that's the old school S?
Yeah, that's kind of like how it was when they first designed him.
So will you look at those, or do you keep them in the package? Because those are in pretty good shape, right?
I'm gonna read them, but I'll be careful, and then I'll put them in the package.
No, I know you. I'm not saying I don't care if you are or not, but to me, it's.
I'm bringing them in the bathroom.
Nice.
Oversized.
Nice.
Whoop.
You know what's funny is I found more pictures because I was creating our website, and I was looking for. It's insane how many pictures there are of you and me together. I did not know. I mean, I knew we took a lot, but I didn't know how many there were because I was going through both of our Facebook pages and stuff, and we have a ton. And then I found a bunch of fishing pictures of you, and I gotta be honest, it warmed the cockles of my heart.
Oh, must have been in Iowa or Omaha.
No, it was of you and me fishing, but there was another one where you went with Megan fishing somewhere.
Oh, nice.
And those were cool pictures. So I printed one out and put it up on my wall.
Cool.
Because I got like a bunch of buddies fishing on one of my walls.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that of all your openers, you have the most pictures of me. Just that way I know that I was the best. Even though I know I'm not your favorite, but because you had so many talented guys. But I feel like
I had a lot with Drake too. Drake with him.
Yeah. We really pushed it. We were doing that Hollywood
you
move.
and
We were
I-
like, let's get another print. And you're like, why are you doing in here, Tommy? How'd you get in here? Like, no,
That would be the best tour ever if it was you, me, Drake, Brent, and Steven Rogers. If
That
we
would
could
be
all
fun.
do a big tour together, that would be unbelievable. That'd be the best. Okay, let me ask you this. So I was just talking, I actually, not to name drop, but I was talking to Brian Regan the other day.
Oh.
And I wanted to ask him something, but I chickened out. And I think it'd be a funny question was, because I get this all the time, and I'm sure you do too. Do you ever get like neighbors or anybody that goes, hey, your neighbor told me about you. I hear you do comedy or something. And we're looking for some entertainment for our VFW hall meeting or something.
Mhm.
So we're wondering if you were open this date and what would you charge? I would love to ask Brian that. Like, does he get neighbors and people just going, hey, would you do this for $200?
Yeah. The people that don't realize that he's like selling,
Right.
like, oh, yeah, I got my friend's a comedian. We should like that kind of type thing. Yeah. It has to happen. It happens to all of us. So I'm sure it happens to. And
I
I'm
just
sure he
got
does
one.
it. He's like $70. And I'll just,
Right.
Brian Regan shows up. I'm going to bring Matt Damon as well. He's an actor. He's up and coming. So.
Now, I think we both differ on this when we, because I think I brought this up to you before. When people ask you, and we don't got to say numbers or anything, but people will ask you all the time, what is your rate? Like, what do you charge for this? I never give them a price. I always say, what is your budget?
Right.
And then they'll go, well, we don't have a budget. Just tell them. I'm like, well, you don't have a budget, then 25 grand. And they're like, well, we got a budget. All right, then what is it? Because
Right.
I'm gonna try to work within that. But I don't want to say, because I've said times like what my normal price would be for something like a corporate event. And people would be like, oh, that's too much. That's way. And I'm like, dude, that's what people pay. So I don't know what to tell you. You don't need to be rude about it. But some people have been really rude because they think, oh, you can't give me a deal. And I'm like, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
Like, you're through a friend, and this sounds like a horrible gig that I don't want to do anyways, but this is what I charge. So that's why I never give it out. Do you give out a number normally?
No, I mean, now I just pass it to my agents, which is nice because then they'll just go through it.
But what if this was not an agent one? This is like through like your mom's friend calls you up.
I mean, though, for like the only thing that I don't book through like them for privates is like if it's a charity thing, and then I'll give them a pretty decent number, or I'll be like, how many people are there? This is probably what I would charge for like a ticket. So this is what your budget, if they're like it's 500 people, and then I just figure out what I want and how desperate I am, and
Right.
I'm just so booked though. So if anybody needs me, I mean, it's going to cost you a lot of money if you're listening to this.
That's how I feel. That's
But
what I show me.
yeah,
the
it is
money.
weird when they get angry though. If like it's not gonna, I'm like, well, I mean, I apologize, but
It's happened a few times to me, and I just got sick of telling them then.
yeah,
So I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. I don't need to be belittled because you don't want to pay a price for quality entertainment,
right.
So anyways, but I just booked, I don't know if I told you this. I booked my hometown's county fair.
Oh, fun. That'll
And
be
to
cool.
me, growing up, this was like the coolest thing ever to go do. It's actually in the town north of me, but it's in the town my mom lives in now. And they're doing it in the grandstands where they have like the tractor pulls and
Ooh.
like, old bands will come in and play and stuff. So, and that's where all the 4-H cows are and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it's going to be, to me, this was like a huge part of my life growing up, And so riding the Gravitron, winning those square mirrors with the
Yeah.
pictures on them. And so I'm super excited about this one. This is going to be, it's in July. And I'm excited they're even doing it because Michigan's like the worst. They're like number one right now for COVID. So
but
I just had a couple gigs get canceled.
Are in Michigan already?
Yeah.
Because the numbers are going back up. Yeah, hopefully it'll go. I mean, the vaccination will kind of come through, and then summer will hopefully the heat and stuff will calm things down. But that'll be awesome because the county fair, like that's something that you used to go to as a kid, right? So then you would see all the things. So like you're like, there's gonna be kids and families there that are like, wow, this guy is like that's really exciting.
And he's from here, and he's doing this.
That's gonna be fun. That's awesome. And then I'm gonna come and give you a big blue ribbon when your set's done. Like,
you're the best pig.
We got it.
Oh,
that'll do, Rob. That'll do.
I knew I almost said that too. Speaking of vaccination, I got my second one today.
Cool. And
I feel fine.
Which one did you get? You told me before.
Pfizer.
Yep. Okay, that's what I have.
Yep. I got actually all Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson Johnson. I just got them all just to be safe.
Get the triple combo. That's good. Then you should be.
Blood clot. No, I'm feeling great. Everybody's like, you're gonna get sick. You're gonna get sick. I hope not. I got to fly out tomorrow. I'm going to Utah for a couple days, and then I'm going to play a comedy festival in Wenatchee, Washington.
Wow. I'm going to Utah in 2 weeks. We're all off each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you playing the club?
The Wise Guys in Ogden.
Oh my God, I've been bugging him.
Or end of April. And then, this weekend, I get my third shot in a couple days, and then I go to Iowa, and then I'm doing a theater in Austin, Minnesota, hopefully. But they're also streaming it as well. So it's social distance, and then people can watch it live.
That's awesome. So we have a new segment we're going to do.
Yes, new segments.
New segments for you fools. It is, I love history, and I worked on a show for a while called Here's a Little History with Rob Little, and it didn't take off. So now we're going to do it for you folks. Are you guys ready for a little history with Rob Little? Yeah. All right, Tommy, I got to bring it up right away just because you started to talk about it and I was hoping you didn't step on it. But April 8th, this week in history, April 18th, Superman Action Comics #1 featuring Superman first hit the newsstands this week.
So cool.
1938. Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
Now, to me, that's got to be like that's your World Series, right? What is that to you? What does that mean to you?
That's what, that issue is like the holy grail of what I would want. But yeah, it's a cool day in history that Superman started. You wouldn't even have Marvel movies, man, if that day didn't happen. when this came
Although
out.
that was DC Comics, right?
Yeah, but he was the start of the hero. Like
Yeah, he
it was,
really is.
they owe. I everything is owed to Superman. He's the OG
Right. And they
superhero.
say so today is they would say is today's is official birthday of
Yep.
Superman, but some other sources give conflicting dates. Like the first TV Superman show says it's April 10th. They're all kind of conflicting. One DC Comics memorabilia gives it February 29th, but today is the Action Comics when it debuted, so they say it's his birthday.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And it
That's
was only
pretty
10
cool.
cents. Can you imagine getting that for 10 cents now?
And
You would it's worth a little bit more. If you
yeah,
had,
now it's like worth what?
I mean, depending on the condition, but it's over $1 million. I think I can't remember what the last one sold that auction.
Do they even come up for auction that often?
I haven't seen one heard about one lately. Usually it's in the news or like private collectors, but then you always hear about people finding them in walls. Like that's why I just want to find houses that were built in like 1930, the late 30s,
Yeah.
and like let's rip those walls open. Because my friend, she was just redoing her floor, and taped on the floor was a newspaper from 1933, and I was like, we need to break into your walls. I got to make sure there's no
Wow.
comic book. She was like, you can't. I was like, no, we gotta break in those. So
Yeah, because a lot of times like people hid money in the walls back then, and
well, they would just use them for insulation. Like it wasn't even like they weren't just like putting it because it was cool. People would shove newspaper and comic
Comics?
books because it was just paper.
Wow, I didn't know
instead
that.
of, yeah, you didn't know. Yeah, so that's what they would stick those in the wall as insulation instead of good insulation.
Wow. All right, I got a few more. I got a lot more, but we'll just go through them. If you want to talk about them, cool. If not,
Okay.
we can just pass on. But this week was also the first Paul Revere's famous ride, where he warned about the British coming. He didn't really even say the British are coming. He said the redcoats are on their way or something like that.
Oh,
Isn't that kind of crazy?
yeah, but at the time they knew what that meant, right?
Oh yeah. And the first two guys he got to tell, where is it? Sam Adams and John Hancock, because he rode from Boston to Lexington.
Oh wow. And so that was today in what year?
April 18th of 1775.
Okay, nice. Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
Good.
And then the British actually caught him, and they didn't like imprison him. They just took his horse and let him walk back home.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
And that was just for unrelated, like he had parking tickets or it was like a DUI. He didn't know that he was spying on him. They were like, hey. They just took his horse. That's weird.
Well, that was like stealing a car back then, I guess. So in April 19th of 1987, the Simpsons actually started their TV show, their 48. They started as a series of 48 1-minute animated shorts for the Tracy Ullman Show, ultimately getting their own primetime slot 2 years later.
So this is when they had the primetime, the TV show, or was this when it was on the
This is when they got their start on Tracy Ullman.
Oh, okay, cool. I never saw that show, but I always heard that history that they were on the Tracy.
I used to watch it a lot. It was like a sketch show with her,
Right.
and she was pretty talented. She did a lot of different characters and stuff. But when that Simpsons would come on, to be honest, I didn't think it was that great because it was so poorly animated and stuff. But
yeah, the original art of the Simpsons is pretty rough. So
Yeah.
that's funny.
But that's pretty cool. Did you know April 19th is Bicycle Day?
I did not know that. What does that
Do
mean?
you know why it's called Bicycle Day?
Was the bicycle invented?
No,
April-
not even close.
Oh,
It's called Bicycle Day because it's the inventor of LSD that took it, and he got all like he just was babbling and making unintelligible nonsense, and they called it Bicycle Day because he was riding his bike home and he was all tripping on his bike.
Bicycle Day for all those people that like to do that stuff. That must be exciting for them.
Isn't that
That's
crazy?
cool. Weird.
Here's another interesting one. This on April 19th of 1692, Bridget Bishop. Want to take a guess what she was accused of?
Bridget Bishop. She was accused of being a witch.
Yep.
Nice.
This was the Salem witch trials.
Okay.
She was the first one, but the reasoning was ridiculous. She was accused of bewitching 5 young women who claimed the shape of Bishop would pinch, choke, and bite them. Okay.
Whoa, weird.
So she would just kind of run around and pinch people and bite them, and she was probably just goofing with people. But then she was accused of wearing colored lace, thereby dressing more artistically than women in the village. So that made her a witch.
Oh,
and
no.
then she got accused of playing shuffleboard, which were signs of consorting with the devil.
This sounds like a lot of people on cruise ships that you work for.
Yeah.
That
There's a bunch of witches on the cruises. But can you imagine? So they're just like, oh, she's playing. She's wearing a red lacy thing playing shuffleboard. Witch.
Yep, it's over.
And she's all like, hey, you guys want to play? Pinch, pinch. She's a witch.
Weird.
It's crazy.
That's so crazy.
Here's a fun one for you. April 19th of 2016. An Indian woman from India. She is known as the oldest woman to give birth to a healthy son. She was 72 years old.
Oh, congratulations. That's so nice of her to have. And then what year was that she had the
2016, man. Not that long ago.
Oh, okay. So
And she'd been
72.
trying to have a child since she was 46.
Oh, okay. So there's a 30-year of trying, and then
Yeah.
and it happened. That's great. And she,
That
you
is
know, when it
awesome.
graduates college, she'll be almost 100. So that's cool. The timing that'll be really.
That really is the best time to have one if you're going to live a little longer,
And
right?
then if her kid has a kid at 72, she'll be a grandparent at age 144. Wow. So she's gonna. That'll be a lot of candles on those.
I
kids.
was shocked to read that this didn't happen in the villages where near where I live. Here's another good one that kind of blew my mind. Rosie Ruiz, April 21st, 1980, this week. She's the first woman to cross the finish line at the 1980 Boston Marathon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, real cool. However, no one saw her running the race. There's no pictures of her running the race or nothing. But then later, someone saw her jump into the race near the finish line
Oh no.
and ran across and won.
So she got driven or something. They don't know if she cheated, or they assume they did.
No, they now know she cheated.
Oh, okay.
But back then, they thought, oh my God, she won. She's not even out of breath.
Wow.
But have you ever been to a race before? Because I've been to a couple. I've ran a couple 5Ks. There's nothing stopping anybody from doing that.
Yeah, I mean it's just morals, but you think like the
yeah,
bigger
but-
races though, like the real famous ones, they'd have a way of tracking them, because aren't there like chips and stuff in the little paper things you get now or something?
Oh wow, Tommy, if that's true, that's amazing. I don't know.
Well, they can like track your time, or there's like a barcode, but I don't know if they know where you are.
The next one, and I'm only doing this one for you. And even though it's got to do with the NBA championship, I think you might find this interesting. April 23rd, the first NBA championship, 1950. You want to guess what teams were in it? You won't know. The Minneapolis Lakers
Oh man.
defeat the Syracuse Nationals
Oh, okay.
4-2. That's
So,
pretty cool. I didn't even know that was a team. Minneapolis Lakers.
yeah, the Lakers got sold to California.
Is that really what it is?
Yeah, that's why they're called the Lakers, because we have
I had
10,000
no
lakes
idea.
here. And then
That
we have
makes
the Timberwolves
way more
later.
sense.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's why I saved it for you. I thought you might.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. And then the Syracuse Nationals, they get sold to a baseball team.
I get. Yeah. Then I guess. That's fine.
All right, here's one. I got one more. I took out a ton, but this is the other one I thought was kind of interesting. April 24th this week, 1184 BC. That's before the big guy. Any ideas what could have happened on that date?
Okay, 1184 BC
Yeah,
on April, you said 18th?
24th.
April 24th.
Yeah, does
So
that
it's
make a
just
big difference for you?
around the time. Well, I was just seeing if it was
This
the
week.
18th. 11. What was I doing? Okay, I wasn't around yet. Like a volcano went off. Was it Pompeii?
Oh, that's a good guess, but no.
Okay.
The Greeks enter Troy in a hidden giant wooden horse.
Oh,
The
nice.
Trojan War started.
Trojan condom was invented. That's
Isn't
so
that
exciting.
crazy? Yeah. That's why they're so big. They had to fit in this horse.
I'd be pretty embarrassed if I fell for that. I just
Right?
impressed they got away with it, right?
You just think it's a solid horse coming in.
Well, I just feel like you would hear noise, just like what?
Yeah, because I read the story about that. The soldiers actually had to stay in overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So they were waiting. They tacked at night, and so they all had to be quiet in there. And wouldn't you feel like it'd be almost like pushing water in there?
Yeah, you'd be like, this is really heavy. And I feel like if you were in there, you would have farted. Like you would just been like, oh, sorry guys. Like
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm real nervous.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do this? Can I just stay back and ride the horse?
Loudly opening a bag of chips. Sorry, guys. Sorry. My bad.
And then in history, I have I'm going to go through some birthdays and some deaths.
Okay.
So birthdays this week: Conan O'Brien, Jack Nicholson, Byron Allen, which I was on his show.
Oh, cool.
Adolf Hitler. I don't know if you heard of him. Cedric the Entertainer. And then there's a couple more, but this one, I want you to bring up the picture that I sent you. Jane Mansfield. Now, I really didn't know who she was. She was born in 1933, and she died in 67. I had no idea how smoking hot Jane Mansfield was. She was like the first Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah. At first, when you had sent me these photos, I thought it was Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah,
just blonde-haired, but I don't know what was the.
She was definitely a Playboy playmate. That's Hugh Hefner's MO. He loves the blondes, so me and him have that in common. But she had a crazy death because she died when she was a passenger in a car and they ran into the back of a semi, which took the top of the car right off.
Oh, no.
And now that's why semis have that lower bar on the bottom of their back of their semi, and it's called a Mansfield bar.
Oh, so it's named after her. That's crazy.
Named after her. I had no idea. Like, I knew that was from an accident, why they put that bar in there, but I didn't know that was because of her.
Huh. Very interesting.
Yeah, right?
Good work on your history segment.
Thanks, brother. Also, this one, I'm not sure you're going to enjoy this one, but I think listeners might like this one. Marilyn Chambers was born on April 22nd of 1952. And do you know what she was famous for?
That she started the chamber orchestra.
That is close. She was in the first porno, Behind the Green Door. And it's one known as one of the most famous. I don't know if it's the first one, but it's definitely one of the most famous ever. And not only did she do that, she was a diver in junior Olympics. She was a diver and a gymnast.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that neat? She also did commercials for Pepsi, and she was on a couple TV shows and stuff. But that she's known for the other thing, which it's cool to see. Like, she was a triple threat.
No, that's a lot of talents. So it's really cool. And it's my dad's birthday. Speaking of birthdays.
It is?
April 20th is my father's birthday.
Oh, that's cool. Happy birthday
exciting.
to Tommy's dad.
An interesting thing, his name is Ronald Elmer Ryman. My grandpa's name is Elmer Ronald Ryman. And then and my uncle's name is James Elmer Ryman. So they all have the middle name of Elmer of their father.
And what did you get?
Mine is John. I was like, why don't I get to be Elmer?
I know. Tommy Elmer Ryman? That would have been great.
I know. But what are
I
you
was
gonna
Robert Little. My dad's Robert Little, and my grandpa's Robert Little, but we all have different middle names, so none of us are juniors.
do? Interesting.
Yeah. Here's a this one's a next interesting thing for history. William Shakespeare was born on April 23rd, 1564. He died April 23rd, 1616. He was born and died on the same exact
Oh
day.
yeah, I think I knew that. That would be interesting to be on your born on your birthday and die on birthday.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah,
Oh man,
he timed it really well.
they say that deaths occur more on people's birthdays than on any other day of the year. So you're more than likely to die on your birthday. Isn't that crazy?
Well,
they say
I mean,
it's due to like your partying, your drinking, tend to go off driving, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, my birthday's on St. Patrick's Day, so it's
yeah, you're definitely gonna die. And mine's Christmas Eve, so we're both screwed.
over.
Also, deaths, notable deaths. Albert Einstein died on April 18th.
What? When?
1955.
Just this year? He's gone.
55.
I'm just finding out now. I thought.
Or no, he died. Yeah,
Oh,
1955. I'm sorry, buddy.
I was gonna call him.
Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
Okay. Dick Clark died on April 18th. Charles Darwin, which is a very interesting topic. Do you think we as a species are the evolution? He's a guy who created evolution.
I thought he made the Darwin Awards of people that
he also did Darwin Awards for idiots.
Weird ways.
Yeah. This is a funny one. Benny Hill, not funny, but he passed away on the April 20th. He was like my dad's favorite thing to watch growing up. I always watched that guy and I thought, oh, good. I can't wait to be old and pervy and chase women. It's going to be the best.
That's awesome.
And also Prince died this April 21st of 2016.
Bummer.
That was a big one. I actually went to it. Oh, have you ever been to his
Paisley
house?
Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. Okay. Mark Twain also died. Vern Troyer, Mini-Me,
Oh yeah.
died in 2018 on April 21st. Richard Nixon, Howard Cosell, who was a guy I used to impersonate growing up. This is Howard Cosell.
Yeah, the sports caster.
He died in April 23rd. Bud Abbott of Abbott and Costello died in 1974. And then another, and I don't mean to bring up one more, but Linda Lovelace, another American porn star from the big series of Deep Throat, passed away in 2002 on April 22nd. So 2 porn stars, one born and one died in this week.
Interesting.
2 of them probably the most famous, in the 70s by far,
Okay.
Anyways, interesting to me, man. So there's a little history with Rob Little. Thanks for listening.
Those were great. That was awesome, Rob.
Thanks, buddy.
Good job. We learned a lot.
Yeah, we got a lot today.
I was good at guessing some of them.
You were good. I like that we get to let you try.
I want to give updates on the dog because Megan and I pick up our new dog within in less than a week. We get it on.
So jealous.
But I want to show you this picture I found of when Harvey was a baby. So we have the 2 dogs now. And I'm going to share this screen. This was when Harvey was a little guy.
Listeners, if you can't say, oh my God. If you're listening, please go over to YouTube and watch us on YouTube, A Little Tomfoolery on YouTube. This picture
was a little baby. He's bigger than Olive now, but he's like intensely staring at Olive. So I always tell Megan, I go, I wish you would stare at me like Harvey looks at Olive with just like right up in my face and not blinking. So
that is adorable, buddy.
And then let me try it. I want to try.
I never were into these dogs until you got them, and then I'm like, man, they really are super cute.
Yeah, the Bostons are fun. And then they sent us a video of our new pup here.
Your Great Dane you're getting?
Yeah, this is Minnie. sharing the video. Let's see.
She's the black one?
Yep. So she's, I don't know if it'll have sound, but yeah, she's got,
I can hear it a little bit.
it's coming through my computer.
Oh my God, all of them are cute.
Yeah, she's the smallest one of them, though. There's like, but they're already, I think she's like 16 pounds. So she'll be like 25 pounds when we get her. And if, in comparison, like Olive weighs about 13 pounds now, fully grown. So this dog will already be double her size.
What is stopping them from letting you take them now?
Well, you're not supposed to take puppies away from their parents earlier than 8 weeks. And I think they also just want to make sure certain that they survive, or certain things health things might be able to show up in those first 8 weeks or something. So
he looks a little timid.
She does. Yeah, she before in the video, she was like just sleeping. So this was the first time we've like seen her move around, but she's the runt of the litter. So she'll be kind of,
that'll be funny if your two dogs kind of act like the boss of her.
Yeah. Well, at first, I'm sure Harvey will try to, but then it'll be fun to watch them slowly. Harvey be taken over by the giant Great Dane. Like, oh, this isn't working out.
Yeah. And I wonder if the Great Dane will like try to have as much energy as your two dogs, because they're pretty high energy.
Yeah, they are. The Great Danes don't. We actually had a buddy come over with his Great Dane puppy that's like 12 weeks, and they played, and Olive actually was really good. She like stood up on her hind legs and like held his face and like was kissing him and stuff. It was super cute. But they're growing so fast and so much. Like the Great Danes will have a little bit of energy, but then they sleep fat. They're like, all right, I'm done. I'm spent. Yeah. So I don't know if it'll be able to keep up with our dogs, but they're also older now too. So I think it'll be a good balance.
Oh, good. Well, that's exciting, man. This has been a fun one today.
Yeah, we had some good topics.
What do you got coming up this week?
Well, I'm going to be heading out. I have a theater in Austin, Minnesota, on the 24th of April. And that you can stream. I'm not sure when this will go out, but yeah, I'll be doing that. And then I do have a private event in Iowa that I'm doing.
Okay. And I too am doing some shows this weekend, the 23rd and 24th. I'll be in Wenatchee, Washington, and we are doing Laugh Riots Comedy Festival. And I'm doing that with Karen Rentowski.
Oh yeah.
Comic. I love her. She's
That'll
out
be
of LA.
really good.
She'll be fun. And then after that, I got the State Theater, which is near my hometown in Michigan. Didn't you do that with me one time?
I did, in Bay City.
Yep, Bay City.
Yep, that was a beautiful theater. That'll be great.
May 8th. So they're still doing it. I was supposed to do another show at a different theater the night before that, and they canceled. They couldn't do it. They're just too worried about COVID and everything. But the guy at the State Theater is like, we're doing it. We can't go full. We can't sell out because they are only allowing. Normally it's like 550. Yep.
But it should be. That's good. Then they're keeping it safe and people can spread out.
Yep. So that's what I got coming up, buddy.
Well, that's going to do it, listeners. This was another episode of A Little Tomfoolery with Rob Little and Tommy Ryman, your comedians. I just want to thank you so much for listening. As always, please like and subscribe, share the podcast, tell your friends. Also, check out our Patreon. You can find out about bonuses and some really cool things that you can get as a Patreon member. You get some exclusive stuff. But again, as always, thanks again for listening, fools, to A Little Tomfoolery with Rob Little and Tommy Ryman.
Bye, fools.